during the recording of this podcast, you will hear myself and Kelan melt into a puddle of ooze. It is actually... It's
right now it's 44.
It's not 44.
Yes, it is.
It's 34.
Oh, that's what I meant. It's not going to be 40.
Unless we're American, and then we're like...
What, Fahrenheit?
Hey, oh my God, it's 115 outside, guys. We're like, sorry, what? You'd be dead.
Do you think it could get to 4? Can you get 44?
I've been, like Dubai and places get seriously warm.
I swear you can't. Your shoes can. Robbie's shoes melted in Dubai.
When I was in Dubai, we were waking up at 4 a.m. and going out and shooting until like 9 or 10, and then you just siesta for the day, and then you go out in the afternoon, evening, because it's just too if you're not used to it, literally you walk out of a shop and it feels like somebody's got a hairdryer and they're just going on your face.
Jesus. Well, yeah, it's 34.
It's to anyone listening, it's insanely hot in the UK at the moment. It's the middle of the day. It's 1:57. We're sitting in my office, which is third floor of the house, basically where all the heat goes. And we're so dedicated to recording a podcast that we're doing this right now. So, yeah.
Don't know where an intro can go there, but you know.
Oh, no, the intro was going to go after that pile of goo bit that I said.
Nice.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I've got that in my head. I was actually just comparing while you were in the shitter that America's just... I love America, and I love Americans, unless you're people I don't like. But... 0 Celsius, i.e. where things freeze, I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes.
Everything freezes at 0, then below that is minus, then it's like definitely frozen and cold and all of that.
Yeah.
0 Celsius, 32 Fahrenheit.
What?
Right now, what are we on? 34 Celsius, 93 Fahrenheit.
So there you go, if you don't understand Celsius, whichever...
I don't... What?
Do Canada do it in Celsius?
Probably.
I think they do.
I think it's just in America. I don't get how... I'm trying to think of how you would explain this, but surely, like, I mean, obviously whenever Celsius was invented and whenever Fahrenheit was invented, surely the people who had already adopted Fahrenheit then heard Celsius and went, oh my fuck, what, 0 to 100? That makes total sense. Why don't we just do that?
Yeah.
Fuck the other thing off.
I know.
I don't get it. But then again, like the whole miles and kilometers thing, I don't know what actually we have, and then feet and inches, and then centimeters and
what's a yard?
I think yards like old school. That's like a tuppence.
20 yards.
But it's the whole like I measure jumps and penis size in inches and feet.
Yes.
But then
what? Yeah, but they have inches and feet.
No, I'm not saying America. It's just I don't understand. I don't know what which one's the correct one. We just need a global unified thing, really, don't we?
Yeah, that would help.
Because then I'd say miles, but then also I'd say meters for some stuff. You'd be like, that's 50 meters away. I wouldn't be like, oh, that's something...
Kilometers.
Yeah, fuck knows. Anyway, this isn't what we're meant to be talking about.
Who gives a shit about that anyway?
What we're supposed to be talking about is a list of very random things that have happened in the past couple of weeks since we... Oh, I mean, one thing is that we started the podcast up again, and then you then got quarantined for the third time?
Yeah.
Had to do another COVID test.
I've had quite a few COVID tests, and they've all come back negative, which is pretty
negative, good. Yeah, true. Yeah.
But to anyone who's done one of the COVID tests, I know how horrible it is.
You sound tired. You seemed more energetic earlier.
I've just let everything out into that toilet.
Kelan's just had a traumatic experience in the bathroom.
After you had a traumatic experience in the bathroom.
Yeah. And we're once again 4 minutes in and we're talking about poo. Yeah, so we had a bit of a delay, basically. But thank you, by the way, because we've had fucking shitloads of listeners since we pumped this thing back up again. So
yeah, it's very weird.
Really good to hear.
Giles showed me the graph.
The numbers.
He is the number man. Skyrocket.
But there was a cliffhanger at the end of the last episode whereby right at the end we were like, oh, Star is remonetized, I think. And then we kind of weren't sure.
But it's
they are
confirmed, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's sick. I'm quite happy for them, to be honest.
We saw them the other day. Funny story, actually, to how they got remonetized. I'm not sure.
There's a story behind it.
Kind of. It's not. I don't know if it's public knowledge, so I won't say. It's not like some crazy interesting thing, but it's semi-interesting. But yeah, they got remonetized. Not all their videos, obviously. And they did change like a load of thumbnails and titles and things to kind of try and aid their...
Well, they deserve it. From I think we already ended the last episode talking about
the shift of styles.
Yeah, like it's such a kid-friendly thing anyway, their videos now, apart from like maybe the swearing and stuff, but it's not. The most dangerous thing that they're doing is parkour in their videos now, apart from some of the rooftop stuff. But
well, now the big thing is water. I've realised that there's a growing trend now. If you look at all their stuff, they've done that.
The water is God thing, but not just that. I mean, when they to ramp up the views, it's not. It is quite fun as well.
For sure.
Their last video was actually fucking sick.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I find it interesting when you spot trends. So like obviously they had the POV. They had the POV trend, which was pretty obvious. But they obviously had a hit off with, I can't remember the first one that did pretty well with water.
There was a water challenge, and it might have been. I don't think it was in England. It was that one where they had like the slopes and the rocks
things, and it got went viral. And now they're like,
I'm not surprised because I found that quite funny as well, because it is. You can relate to it because it's a fun game that everyone does.
Can tell they're now, because I just saw they've gone to Germany
and they're going to do some water.
Well, I saw a photo of Benj like sitting on a pillar above some water, so it's probably just like, where's the viral shit that we can do with water that's like kind of impact friendly, family friendly, because also and also Toby did that big dive in Basel or wherever it was into the water.
But they've always been water orientated anyway. They've been known for their cliff jumps and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of interesting to see what will be next after maybe they've like done a lot of water challenges, and then it'll
kind of just be the next thing that randomly pops off, and then it's like, okay, we know we've got a bit of traction there. So so cool. they are back up and running, which is cool. Shame the world's trickier to travel around at the moment, but
yeah, they seem to be managing though. There are some people who are travelling around, right?
Yeah,
but it depends what's going to happen with us in the UK
and other
if it's going to get worse, especially as it comes towards winter.
Spain at the moment I think is pretty tough.
Oh really?
As in I know a lot people who are in Spain now have to like quarantine for 2 weeks when they come back because the numbers are picking up there, things like that. But that's
fuck off the corona stuff. You're not here for that.
You're here to talk about the Tempest competition, which Kelan was just a judge of.
That was well good.
How was that?
That was the best judging experience ever. It was way better than judging in person.
Was it a lot?
A lot of what?
Of watching.
Kind of, but like I'd never really done, because you do like the film festival stuff, and I've been here for some of that.
Well, so rewind to the start. What was the process? Because they reached out to me and were like, we want either you or Kelan, and I was like, Kelan should do it.
Sick. Well, the process, I mean, it was just, they gave us, I think it was roughly 120 videos, something like that.
How do they give clips? Them to you?
It's just on like a Google Drive thing.
It's like a spreadsheet, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There was 120-ish, I don't know, and we just have to watch each single one.
Yeah.
And because they were only like 15 seconds long anyway, they didn't last long. But the hardest thing was, it was me watching all of them for the first time and like jotting down the numbers that kind of stand out.
What, so you're ranking it out of 10? Or?
Well, you don't have to rank it, it's just who I think could go through. Okay, we have to choose, I can't remember the numbers, I'm bad with that, but we have to choose a specific amount of men.
Yeah.
I'll get to the women in a minute. Yeah, to get through to the semi-final. But there's 120 of them, and I've got to go back again so I can like cut it down.
Whittle it, yeah.
And it's so hard because they're runs. Because it's online, you've also got to factor in that they've had as many attempts as possible to get this run as perfect.
What they've uploaded is essentially what they think is their best.
Yeah. So if there is a few stumbles, but you're like, that's actually pretty sick, you go, hold up, like, is that that was the best one they could have got?
Yeah.
They had so many attempts. So unfortunately, with the women, they didn't have actually as many submissions as they did last year.
Oh, okay.
So they did
last time, I guess.
Sorry, not last year. Last month, I think it was.
Yeah,
it was only a month.
It's sick that they're just banging them out, like.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of admin, like all on the back end.
Yeah, it is.
And then they get Jeff to do the video. And
But like, it was sick, and it was just cool having the vibe with we like all jumped on a call and then we like discussed it.
Yeah. So who were they? I saw that because Anan was like waking up in the middle of the night or something. Who were the judges?
Yeah. Anan, Sydney, and Frosty, and me.
Sick.
But yeah, it was less pressure than judging a competition in person because
there's no time.
I've only ever done that once, and that was in Nova City. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
There's no time pressure. It's just sick, and you get to conversate with Anan or Sydney or Frosty. Like, do you think this person should go for you had that person on your list? Like, you sure? But what we wanted to make sure is that people didn't think it was only down to polls, because I think there was a competition before that was only down to polls, and people thought it was like a popularity competition.
Well, and also there's bots on there, like people can get fucking voting bots.
And the thing is that it goes to us, the judges, first, and then like the polls count as like an extra vote, I think, or something.
Okay.
But mostly down to the judges. But it was so hard because it can't with the men's. It's hard with the women's as well. Do you know who won, right? It was Lily and Christian.
Yeah.
And all four.
They're just winning everything.
Yeah, I know. But like both of the. Is that called a semi-final, or is that like what's the one right?
What does it do? Quarter, semi-final, right?
I think so. Either way, the last round.
Yeah.
Either two of the men and the women could have won, and I would have been happy.
It's just that thing.
But with the men, because Evan, who I hadn't seen pop up in a competition before, hardly ever, I really did want him to win. That was so hard to do, but yeah, no, it's cool. I think Tempest should carry on with these.
I think they're going to, and
they're wicked.
It is really cool to see like the people who've kind of adapted to the lockdowns and things, and like, I mean, we obviously, like, I'm kind of glad we didn't think of something like this because of the amount of admin.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of work. Like, we obviously did our little film festival, which was kind of far easier than this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that adapting and like pivoting to do something. And now it's like there's names that are on people's lists in terms of the brands that are like doing these things, and then there's also like new athletes coming out because the good runs, like, people share them. Like, we share them in our group chat. We're like, oh fuck, have you seen this? Like, you sort of discover a new athlete.
It's actually quite beneficial to the people who actually can't travel, I think.
Yeah.
For a lot of the people who are living in maybe just less
it's actually
fortunate
I've just
places.
realised. Yeah, because
they've got a spotlight all of a sudden.
Who's that guy? The guy who's like banging. He's in the Fight or Flight one. He was doing like triple full and thing. I can't remember his name.
Where is he from? Do you know?
I want to say Iran.
I think I know the one you mean.
He
If
was
you
like
get up I know because I can remember his.
He was a
submission.
big contender.
I think he also submitted to Tempest,
Yeah,
but
I
it
think
wasn't
he did.
quite. He had a few start steps.
What is his name? I remember his Tempest run was like not quite as flowy, and therefore it was.
But then the one for, I don't know whether it's Fight or Flight or FISE.
FISE, Fig, yeah.
One of those was banging, really good.
Yeah, I mean he has done some.
But people like that, they can't. Not people like that, but not everyone can get to a competition based maybe in Vancouver, which is like a big one.
They live in a harder environment. I can't find his fucking thing.
Yeah, so this is so sick and such a good way of. It's so chill as well. Like there's no pressure to go get a run for a competition.
Yeah.
If you've got a number of attempts and you're in your hometown.
It's almost the best use of Instagram. It's so much better than. No, I guess it's not better than just sharing your own stuff for your own personal enjoyment. I guess it's. Normally, I would say like that kind of level of movement, it would be cooler. Actually, Christian did a really good thing because his run, he then filmed the BTS and put that on YouTube. So he's kind of like he's multiplying that content and putting it across all platforms, which is smart. But do you know what I mean? Normally that would be like, oh, that's a banger. Like you should save that for like a big boy YouTube edit.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this kind of thing, it's like, I don't know, it's sick. I really really like it.
Same.
Nice. But yeah, so there's a FISE one going on, which.
I had no clue that it was figure orientated, right?
Yeah, Kelan wasn't aware that FISE, the Montpellier FISE thing was Fig, but
I somehow, because I'm an idiot, kind of mixed FISE and Fight or Flight. Slightly.
No. Yeah, the FISE one I don't know a huge amount about, and I don't think they're getting as many submissions, and I think the voting's just closed for it. But I don't think there's much to say on that other than it's happened or happening.
Mm-hmm.
The Fight or Flight one finished. Christian won that.
He's won both.
Tempest
and Fight or Flight. Well done.
They've also announced a Kickstarter for a online training thing.
What, Fight or Flight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. I'll say that's all I'll say about that. There's some vocalization of things circulating around at the moment that I won't comment on, but it's
no comment.
I think it's a lot of. Parkour is a tricky thing because the community is very, very tight knit, and there's a lot of people trying to do progressive things, and sometimes they misstep, and it's very easy to then get kind of. You're either doing it intentionally or by accident, and I don't know. Fuck, I probably shouldn't say too much.
Yeah. We might be able to talk about it maybe another day.
Yes.
Potentially.
Breach Tour has just finished.
Yes. That looks really cool.
We went and saw them on the last day in Brighton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I saw the trailer thing that they made.
that impressed me. They managed to get a trailer done before they'd finished the tour, and it was edited by
apparently they wanted
Hector.
to get a version of that out before.
Or before the tour finishes.
No, I think before the tour had even properly started. I think some of that footage, there's a couple of, I don't know, somebody showed it to me and was like, oh, it should have come out earlier to try and push the t-shirts more.
Oh, so maybe some of the footage isn't from the tour, you mean?
I think so, maybe a couple.
Either way,
of
it's going to be exciting to see saved footage from Travis, Ed.
Yep.
And there's loads of people, but when I think of Travis and Ed saving footage, I don't think that's actually happened very recently, has it?
From what I hear, and I don't mean this in any bad way, but it sounds like people such as Ed and Travis are maybe going to carry that film.
Oh yeah.
The people involved were just like, Ed is going.
It's not. Yeah.
So
it's not.
hard.
It's not to do with who's better than who. It's to do with how hard Ed trains and how much he trains.
Yeah, I mean,
he'll get up and he does. Yeah. Max said, didn't he? He was like, it's been inspiring going on the tour. This is Max Barker.
Yeah.
It's been inspiring going on the tour because I just got to see how hard Ed worked.
Yeah.
I think that's just inspiring.
But that is the cool thing, and I guess for anyone listening, it's like, at the end of the day, there are people out there who get up. I mean, Dom's another example.
Yeah.
All they do is train, and they're constantly progressing.
Nearly sneezed, sorry.
Keelan just contorted and looked away. They get up and they train non-stop, and they're the ones who are becoming successful, and because that's how hard you have to work, and it shouldn't be anything else than that. Like,
no.
At the end of the day, if you want to be successful in anything, you kind of have to graft your fucking arse off.
Yeah.
No free rides, really.
Yeah. But we managed to catch the end of the Breach tour in Brighton.
Yeah, I think they were all a bit knackered.
Yeah, there's still some good training.
Still some good bits.
I mean, the Star Boys came down, and I'm always surprised how good Benj is.
Fuck me, yeah. He's just like,
just because you see him in videos, and like he does all like the techie. I think of him as like techie and flowy stuff.
Yeah.
And then when in person, he actually does big, disgusting stuff.
He's now taken the techie flowy stuff to such a level that he can do big tic tac prees and things. That it's really, really sick. So
that's cool. Yeah, that ended there. I think they went out for like beers, and
George sent a
rap
Snapchat
party
that was like to his girlfriend, and he was saying she looks spicy, which is a good term from George.
Spicy.
And he meant for it to go to her, but he sent it to the Motus one because he was.
Oh really?
I think he was still a bit drunk the next morning.
What, the Snapchat?
Yeah.
Nice. Didn't have that downloaded.
There was something I was going to say about the Breach thing, but I cannot remember what it was. But yeah, that was it. So it's going to be a film. I think I said last time on the podcast I had my kind of reservations about something that was filmed over like 8 days or 9 days to be a film, but we'll see. But
it's only going to be like £4, I think.
Really?
Like that. Yeah.
I'm just curious as to how long it's going to be, and like if it's going to feel. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, why don't we do a Motus review on the podcast when it comes out, and we can review it.
Watching it like, that was good. But somebody pointed out something interesting in the sense that they were selling t-shirts to raise money for the tour.
Yeah.
Very last minute that felt. It felt like days before they were like, oh, we need money. But the people buying the t-shirts then didn't get. What they should have done is said, if you buy a t-shirt, you get the film when it comes out.
So true, yeah.
Because then I feel like they would have sold way more t-shirts.
It's like a Kickstarter thing.
Exactly, but instead they're like, you get the t-shirt to support the tour, but then you still have to buy the film.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
That could have been a cool angle.
Yeah.
Missed out on that. But, yeah.
But we shall see. I don't know when it's going to come out. I'm not sure. Is it just Hector editing it?
Not too sure. It's not just Hector filming it.
No, they had Hector and Chris and...
I know a Hector edit when I see one, and the trailer was probably just him. So
yeah, the trailer looked like a Hector edit. Yeah.
So
the thing is, though, I mean, I love Hector's editing. I wouldn't want to see a full film edited like that, though. Mm-hmm. Very intense.
Well, it's because his style is music video style.
Yeah. So
it will be interesting to see if he is editing the whole thing, whether he can like
chill it out almost.
Yeah.
Like a long.
I think he might be able to.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think he's done some longer stuff as well.
He definitely has. It'll be cool. I have missed seeing parkour edited by him because he's been so busy with music videos
more
and
money
stuff.
In music videos, I think.
Oh yeah,
but like a lot more room for growth for his skills as well. So I can see why he's doing a lot of that, and he churns them out. So it's like if you
works hard.
If you can deliver in that environment.
Yeah. But that's breach.
Is your shirt still sucked in?
It is.
It is. I wrote down shirt tucking in because Kelan had tucked his in, and then I realised that actually the only reason he had was because he had a stain. on his shirt.
I think it does look pretty cool, but if I'm wearing a baggy t-shirt anyway, I'd prefer to just untuck it.
I wrote it down because it is well, actually, we've got a couple of trends here. I mean,
growing
trends.
Tucked in t-shirt. When I think of that, I either think of Hendo or Max Cave. They both do that quite a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think it looks bad. I think it's just interesting how, like, ages ago, you get told to. I mean, even now you get told to tuck your shirt in at school, but you don't want to do that. But then when it's not at school, you're like, tuck my shirt in. Do you know what I mean? It's like not something you want to do, but then. It's interesting.
It's definitely a rising trend. There's a lot more of it happening in kind of generic.
I think because it changes
it changes the silhouette of your like.
Yeah, and exactly, the silhouette and the shape of things.
I like it when you see somebody who's like doing descents and they've got their shirt tucked in, because it's almost like they've done that intentionally, because then they can see their feet.
Yeah,
because you know that horrible float with your t-shirt.
I had to do that with my first descent, because it literally happens every drop. Your t-shirt
goes out.
Floats to your eyes.
I think my thing with like fashion is that because you tuck your shirt in, it will inevitably come untucked again, and therefore you were tucking it in for a certain look, if you know what I mean. I think I'm just, because I'm a bit older now and I just can't be fucked.
Like, tuck your shirt in?
Any of the trends that basically involve something that is inherently impractical. Like it's practical to tuck your shirt in for descents, yes, but if you're like doing other movements and your shirt is constantly coming undone and then you're tucking it back in, the only purpose of you doing that is for like the style of it, I guess. Whereas
I definitely think that fashion exceeds
maybe I'm just chatting guff, I don't know. I think I'm just old and boring. I just can't see. I think even if it like becomes massive in the next couple of years.
Well, it's like when we used to wear dad hats a lot, but we'd be doing flips, so it would just fall off and you put back on. You do a flip, it is kind of like the look, and it's hard because with parkour, it is such an aesthetic sport. It just is, because if someone doesn't do something nice, then do you know what I mean? They can land it really well, but if you look.
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting topic of like how much does
that's not just to do with clothes, that's to do with like how you land your tricks and how you put together your tricks. It comes with style as well.
The old debate used to be obviously like baggy trousers, like Etriforts. Like it would be like, oh, Fosky only looks flowy because he wears Etriforts, or not like he only, but he can look more flowy because of that. But it's like, how much can your clothing affect your style, if you know what I mean?
I think different people actually serve a different what am I trying to say? Like, I think some people actually suit training in skinnier or slimmer trousers. Like for me, I've got really long legs, so wearing something that's like skin tight actually doesn't look that good. So it's kind of to even out everything. But then you've got the tricky thing is, if we were all naked and we were doing parkour, who would look
more natural?
So
the people who are built like apes, they're all kind of like big and like like that'd be sick. But what was I going to say? Yeah, what's interesting is obviously with the kind of increase in baggy trousers coming back a bit, and obviously Farang have just dropped the joggers, which are really quite baggy, is you're now seeing some people who were wearing last year, let's say, the Farang skinny jeans and are now wearing baggies, and it's like, oh shit, like they look completely different when they move. So it's kind of interesting to like...
Yeah, that is actually true.
To mentally assess. I think my thing with the shirt tucked in thing is I will never not see it as like an attempt to look smart. And I guess that's the programming of like school and like business, is like, as you said, tuck your shirt in.
I just don't like when things are... Like, I agree that a lot of trends and a lot of fashion statements look cool, and then you'll want to do it because you like the way it looks. But it's so hard when everyone realises that at the same time, and it does become a trend, that it just looks weird because everyone's... Like, for example, you've now known that it's catching on. So you can't unsee people tucking in their shirts, and you're like, well, it's kind of...
Yeah, you know, the
one of that group who's catching on to it.
The one that used to kind of irk me was the tying your hoodie strings into a little bow.
Oh yeah,
that like you'd see people and they had like the most perfect bow, and I'm like, fuck that, they're fucking... I just take my hoodie strings out.
I used to tie it because it would flap in my head, in my face.
Yeah, see, I just take them out.
Yeah, but now you told me that, all my hoodies don't have things in.
If I'm going to wear a hoodie to training, I'll just immediately take strings.
But I don't like hoodie strings at all.
No,
even
because
if I'm
I
not
never pull them. I never tighten my fucking hoodie up.
It also makes
like,
the hood... I don't actually like how the hood looks with the string in.
Yeah.
If you've taken it out, the hood like flops down nicer.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, we obviously print some stuff on like blank garments, so you kind of don't get a decision over that. But a lot of the stuff, the hoodies that we've made from scratch, will never have hoodie strings in, because it's just like, it's pointless.
Exactly.
But they want to tie it into a bow. I think the other thing with tucked in shirts is like, how baggy is the shirt? Because that one you're wearing is massively baggy, so when you tuck it in, it's like there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So
no, I'd prefer it. I'm walking away from the mic. Someone's wearing.
Just realised that.
I know, same.
We're looking in the mirror.
If someone was wearing quite a tight shirt and then tucked it in, I would not look at that and think it's good. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I just don't know if I look at that and think it's good. That's the problem.
I don't think it looks bad, but like I don't. Especially wearing this shirt, I would prefer to just wear it down because it is baggy.
I feel like also the sleeves on that shirt are huge. It might be...
I quite like... There we go, there's agree to disagree. I am in hatred at the moment of sleeves that are like even here. So if they don't come down for half arm, I think it just looks weird.
Wow.
Weirdly, like...
You're really like strict with what you wear as well, because you're like...
I think it's because I've always grown up with... When doing parkour, I've struggled to like... enjoy my movement, and then when I find something I can wear and I'm like,
it gives you that like confidence.
Exactly. And then
I didn't mean you're strict. I mean when
you like give me stuff and I'm like, it has to be extra large, or
sometimes as you said, you find a certain style and then like you will only fucking wear that shit for like 6 months and then you'll change.
Well, because I sometimes spot people wearing, or not spot people, but I'll see someone wearing a t-shirt and it is a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, a lot of old music videos I'll start watching.
Yeah.
And they'll actually have smaller t-shirts and I'm like, actually that looks sick. I will put it on and be like, no.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good.
I mean, you have got a fairly unique body proportion.
I'm so small. Every short person I'm smaller than George sitting down.
Yeah. Keelan's legs are horrifically long and then his torso is quite short. So I guess you're...
really weird. But it helps with strides when I was actually striding.
Very true, yeah.
But anywho,
it's so interesting, like, because it's like I mean,
that's when I think it is quite interesting with clothes, though, because I think a lot of people see past fashion. When people are interested in clothing, they think, oh, you're interested in labels and you're interested in this, and it is a bit too much. But then when it goes in depth with like your own body, like for sleeves, I'm not necessarily looking at anyone who's wearing this.
Yeah.
But there is people who look cool like this, but it's because it works better with me.
Oh, Darwin's just come into the office and he's so hot. He's just panting. Darwin, come here. I'll
see if I can get a little...
Darwin, what's this?
In the mic.
What's this?
Hey.
Keelan's going to get the mic up to Darwin's face. What's this? Here. He's sniffing it. He's not panting.
Well, we'll see if you can hear that.
Glorious dog, mate. You should go downstairs. You're so hot
on the pop filter.
The poor boy. Yeah, I just find the whole thing really interesting because it's like, I mean, Motus is a brand. We make clothing.
Well, like you're saying, you're sleeves. So there is on the Motus clothes. It is like borderline for me. It's like, if it was any smaller, I couldn't do it. That's why I have to have like extra large.
That's so interesting.
And even thinking about like, I've seen this is kind of the opposite, tucking your shirt in.
Kelan is wearing one of the Farang t-shirts that was made by the guy who did the artist stuff on it.
The person in Greg's, when I did my MOT done, he asked me what shirt it was. He was like, I really love that shirt. And
I was really?
Like, yeah, which made me happy because I was like, oh, it's a parkour brand.
Yeah, that's sick. Show me one of my fucking Motus.
I know. Oops. Yeah,
I just find it interesting because it's like we are a brand. We sell clothes. We have to be looking forward, and it's like you try and look at trends but
you can't make it so personal that only us athletes like wearing them, if that makes sense.
Well, this is the tricky thing.
Because I love all of our clothes that we've made. Yeah, I love all of them. Just not all of them will look good on me.
But also it's not even just you. It's like we want to look at like men's streetwear fashion trends.
Yeah.
Obviously, to any ladies out there,
I would actually be so hyped if we brought our women's collection.
I'd love to do something in the future for sure.
There's a lot of girls' clothing that look really, really sick. I think girls can pull off like a cool fit. So to work with
definitely
that,
something I want to do. It's like the tricky thing is just minimums and stuff.
Well, we'd need to personally like be in touch with women.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I couldn't be like, oh, we're gonna make a sports bra. Like, I don't know, but it's trying to look ahead at like the trends that you know are going to be selling well, whether it's fit or color or like, I don't know, like sort of the trousers going more baggy or whatever. But then also it's like, well, it's got to be good for parkour. You guys have also got to like wearing it, and some of you guys have got quite unique styles.
We're all very different,
but also a lot of your styles are quite influential.
Yes.
To other people. Well, to like other people.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying none of you are necessarily trendsetters, but you're definitely early adopters.
With parkour, it really does help, because it wouldn't be necessarily trend setting, but like if I see someone doing parkour and the run looks really clean, I will look at what they're wearing and be But I'd say people like sort of you and maybe Max are like more early adopters to styles than some people. So it's good to like listen to you guys, but also it's like, well, we've got to make something that is going to be worn by like your generic American gym kid who maybe just wears shorts and a t-shirt. Yeah.
And I personally I don't care less about how it looks. I'd say my style personally is quite conventional for the most part, but I care about what the item represents or stands for.
Yeah. I
like the concept.
I think that's where maybe it's pretty good you've got someone. I think I'm a bit of both, because there's a lot of t-shirts that I actually own that the fit's really nice and I really don't like what's on them.
Oh,
so
really?
It doesn't stand for like stuff I've been sent where it's like, this fits so nicely, it's a shame like what's on it, it's just I don't agree with.
Yeah.
But Max, however, he's quite a good example of like getting any t-shirt, not necessarily that it looks bad, but like the stutter school, is that what it's called?
Stutter school. I
call it stutter school. He had a stutter school t-shirt
he got from a vintage store in Vancouver.
Yeah, but I do agree the fit is nice, but like, because the first thing you look at,
I look at it and I just think it's literally a generic, it's probably a fucking Fruit of the Loom t-shirt.
It might be, but I think I can agree with Max that a lot of t-shirts that end up trying to imitate like a fit rather than your like basic can just change it too much, you know, like when a long fit tees were a thing for quite a while. I really didn't like those, because when I wore it personally, it was like, it's making my whole body look odd.
Max likes to wear stuff that like he is the only person who has that item as well. That's definitely a big factor for him.
Which is hard when Motus is.
Well, that's the other tricky thing. Yeah, it's like you want. I mean,
I do agree with that though.
Oh yeah, you know that tour T-shirt you posted earlier, and you were like, "Is it the Dust T-shirt that Joel's wearing?"
Yeah.
And you shared it on the story.
It wasn't the Dust tee.
Well, it was the tour T-shirt, but it was the black one.
Oh, so the Dust one is
the brown one.
I thought they were just both Dust tees.
Some guy commented, and he was like, "Yeah, that's not the Dust T-shirt." He was like, "Not quite." Or something.
Should have just said, "Yeah, that wasn't me." Shared it.
I just deleted it and put a new one up. But yeah, that's a good example. We've now sold hundreds of that T-shirt, and it's like now you'll go to a jam and everyone's wearing the same fucking T-shirt, and you're like, "This is sick." But
then that's why it's a good idea to do things like, okay, we're gonna have a new collection, and if we can get it early, then people like Max, who likes wearing his own thing, you wear it to promote it, and then as soon as it's out,
you stop wearing it.
He stops wearing it, and then everyone buys it, and then they're still looking at Max. Maybe Max is wearing a new thing from Motus.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
that's kind of what we're trying to push a bit more towards, is trying to be early.
I know.
Because that's the other thing, is like right now we're sorting out spring, summer next year.
Yeah.
And I mean, we say sorting out, we've already finalized a lot of the like concepts and things. We still need to
just getting them done, isn't it?
Garments and things. And it's like, we don't know necessarily. Everyone might be wearing fucking skin tight tucked in t-shirts then.
Yeah.
But we can't necessarily know these things for sure. But also it's like, you can't bet on a lot of these trends.
Yeah.
I don't know, like the bum bags became huge, and it feels like bum bags aren't really going away, are they? Like,
yeah, that's kind of like dad hats. They were big, and then they're now on like this middle ground.
They're like a practical...
Because a dad hat is way more practical than a flat cap.
Yeah.
And also the bum bag.
But so if you remember those like body rigs that came in.
Yeah, so that's that.
The ones that look like a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
And some people were like, you should make one of them. Like, that's the next big trend. And it was like, if we do, we'd probably have to make 300 minimum.
Yeah, and also like, yes, I can agree with like some extreme outfits
work.
And it does work, because I like the extreme fashion sometimes.
Yeah.
But for a parkour clothing brand, that's
it's just
not
risky
gonna
to
work.
bet on that
Yeah.
shit. Like, you've got to until
No one's going to go out training rocket. Well, I say no one, but
very few people.
yeah. Not just because the looks, just because practicality.
And it's like, at the end of the day,
can't fit as much
for basically any parkour brand at the moment, there's only so much money in the company that we can risk to spend on new stuff.
Yeah.
So we kind of have to be. This conversation's kind of gone way off.
I know.
Captain Shirts, but it's interesting. Like, you basically have to bet most of your money on the safe stuff that's going to sell, and then try and be progressive with a few things.
Or just buy a rug.
Yeah, or just buy a rug. I'm not sure where that came from, but which, by the way, Impact shirts, that was a scary one, because 55 quid for a shirt is a decent amount of money, and I was scared to like sell them for. I mean, they basically, we need to sell them for that much.
What, the Impact ones?
Yeah. And I was scared to release like essentially a floral shirt to the parkour community, and they fucking flew. We got a decent amount left, but so many
sick.
people. Some people bought all three.
Really?
Yeah, which is crazy. Like,
they are very unique.
I love them. They're fucking lovely.
Right now, I wish I had
in
one
this
over
weather.
here.
Yeah.
That
sure.
with shorts, no t-shirt underneath.
It's the nicest thing.
Especially when I'm just chilling at home.
Yeah, so nice.
Oh my god.
But that's like one of those shirts where we can be a little bit more progressive and take a risk, and thankfully it paid off. But also I was like fully thinking maybe these just don't sell. Like, we'll be trying to shift them in Black Friday in November.
No, they're good.
But no, very happy. So the next trend that we have on our list, which we were discussing over lunch, is
one that's quite. I think this is quite small at the moment,
but it
is growing.
It's definitely growing.
100%.
And there was a big push for it a few years ago, which didn't really go anywhere, which is grabs.
Yeah.
Because Kelan was watching, who was it? Not Uri, it was the other guy.
No, it was, one of them was Uri, and there's one that has a name that's like JB, it's like loads of different things. But basically most of the spin boys, and some other people. I mean, most people will know who Josh Malone.
Yeah.
Most people will know who Josh Malone is now.
Yeah, we'd like to think.
Yes. So what he's doing basically is just doing all the flips, I don't know, like a back fall, and then seeing how many different grabs you can do with it.
Well,
and
so
it has been done before, like you said.
And he comes from a skiing background, right?
I think he does, because now he's blading as well.
And he posts a lot of skiing terminology and talks about it on his stories.
Yeah.
Because there was something the other day where he was like, I would consider this because of this.
Yeah.
And it's like a fucking crazy name. Like,
yeah. But it does look, on the right person, it does look cool. It's grabs are just so hard to not look lame. I think it actually has to be really difficult.
So interesting, because it was basically around the time of like Off the Edge when I was doing the stuff with Corey and Jesse.
Yeah.
Jesse comes from a skate background. Corey was big on like X Games and stuff and martial arts tricking, and they were making like a concentrated effort to introduce grabs more. But I think where they went wrong is they were trying to do, because they do like a pistol grab backflip and things, but they were just doing a straight backflip with one leg grab and things like this, and it was like, it was too, it's just kind of like, it came across as a bit lame because it was too simple, but I guess it was just that first,
it is still, and
it was that first stage, like,
especially for the people who are doing them now, it's more, I guess, like as an aesthetic, those things don't look as cool, and they are lame, just a single backflip. But it probably is quite important to practice those sort of movements before you then take it onto, I don't know, a Rudy that you're grabbing a foot or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is a progression, but
you know what's
when's the stage where you start going out training with your friends and do your first grab?
See, this conversation makes me cringe. Like, the thought of somebody doing a flip and adding a grab, discussing it makes me feel like, oh, fuck that. Like, that sounds lame.
A grab.
When the right person does it, nowadays, I'm like,
maybe you've got to be discreet about it. Maybe you just got to do it, and then
but like,
you don't explain that you're going to do a grab.
I can't imagine I will ever feel the need to go, I'm going to do a fucking round off backflip and do a grab.
No, but then that's not your style. I don't think any I really doubt any English people, because of the way they're trained.
Fuck it if you start doing, like, I don't know,
running pre-grab,
ooh,
Kong pre-grabs.
Oh no,
those things are they're not.
And technically, you are adding a bit of difficulty.
Yes, but
no,
we've known.
Oh, that makes me fucking want to throw.
It's quite proven that the amount of possibilities in parkour, there's so many possibilities to make things difficult. It's whether or not they will look good. This is the thing, it is kind of aesthetic at the same time.
Yeah, and it's like, does it need like a tic tac, and you grab the trailing leg and then land on a rail?
I know, and it is a shame because it is all about having fun. But one of the biggest things in parkour,
just do it a certain way, otherwise we'll bitch about you on the podcast.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be something we're ashamed of. But a big part of free running is filming your parkour and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't see, like, skateboarders don't have shame in that. One of the big things about their sport is filming video parts.
Yeah.
Parkour has been filmed pretty much from start. So it is kind of aesthetic as well.
Definitely. But the funny thing is, you probably could do a tic-tac and a grab and land on a rail, and it might look cool, but it's just like...
Depends what it is. But
I feel... okay, here's the issue. I don't think you could do your... If you can do a tic-tac off a rail, like a pole, you know, the one Ben was doing. So imagine that exact tic-tac, right? Let's say you grabbed the foot that you do the tic-tac off when you did it. We're going off topic here because the point we were trying to make is that some people do grabs are really cool.
Yeah.
But let's say you do that and you grab that foot and you land on the wall. Yes, you've made it harder, but if you could do that same tic-tac and go further, then that tic-tac to further is better. Yeah, definitely. Undoubtedly.
It's way more impressive.
It's like...
It also goes back to it being more...
Oh, it makes you feel weird.
What do I say, more productive? The A to B sort of thing. What the word I'm looking for?
I think you're just... It's
like counterproductive.
It's like you're trying to add too much style.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, I think. As you said, with parkour movements... They are essentially, you're taking your fundamental movements, because you could do a tic-tac that's a foot long or 10 foot or whatever, and you're making them bigger and therefore more difficult and technical. I think the beauty in them is keeping those movements simplistic and then scaling them or adding technicality. Adding technicality like almost from your environment. So like tic-tacking off a pole rather than a wall and things. Adding complex things like grabs into that, I feel like it's never going to feel right. However, someone like Uri or one of these guys doing a fucking crazy off-axis flip and adding, because already the reason he's doing that off-axis flip is kind of style-based. Yeah, like it's as you said, that's much more focused on kind of an aesthetic and a style.
Yeah, but it's sick. Like I love watching it. That's the reason you have. This is the reason why everyone is the same and different, if that makes sense. With parkour, everyone is different, so it's interesting. If everyone was exactly the same, this is like the big thing from the start of parkour, that we're not gymnastics. Yeah. So the reason we have all these different styles is just fucking cool.
And I think this is why it's such an interesting thing to talk about, because I even like 2 years ago, if you'd been like, oh, grabs and flips, it would have been like, nah. But now... people are starting to adapt it. Yeah. And it's like, actually, that's making me change my mind. Yeah. So,
but it will be those people who train in that certain way, because the Japanese have, even if they didn't do all their grabs, I think they have a significant style to theirs. It's like very flip based, but like you said, very off axis.
Yeah.
Even without the grabs, it's like competition style, but also slightly different.
It's so interesting. I'm just trying to think about the ones that I've seen, because it's not like people are doing it's not like the grabs are actually that what am I trying to say? I guess some people are like doing a pike and things and doing like a grab. I think that was the example we watched, right? He was doing like a pike.
Yeah, he was doing
like Makaku with a pike in it.
It was a Makaku back flip, is that what you call it? Like one hand down, then you swing over off like a bus stop or something
with like a pike.
And then in the back flip, it was one leg was piked and one leg was tucked. But then the whole thing was done really nicely. That's the thing. Imagine if he did that, but he was someone who doesn't do those flips nicely anyway, and he lands and he's kind of like impactful.
I don't know. It's so interesting just to think about it, because the as we've said, the describing it, I can't imagine it sounding good. No. But when I watch it, it does, and I guess that's just progression.
That's why I think it's kind of cooler that there's actually not a lot of names for loads of things in parkour, and it nearly keeps it nicer with things like that. Even just saying that is a grab. Oh, you should do this flip. Maybe add a grab to it. It sounds really weird. It should just be like, I don't know, just he's done it in that way. Is that you don't need to overthink People don't need to overthink that.
I think when you have like skiing or something and it relies on big jumps that have, because you could just do the jump.
You have skis underneath you as well.
And you have to do that jump and add style to it, and therefore it helps to come up with names.
Yeah.
But the thought of somebody doing like a fucking... I mean, we're walking a territory that we don't know, because I'm sure like people like Josh have already named half these things, or they've taken these names from skiing.
For those people, yeah, it's cool. Like I don't disagree with anything Josh is doing.
No. Like, but what I mean is I would almost rather it was just like, oh, look at Josh being a fucking beast, and he added some grabs in there, than like, oh, and he did a butter squash sort of a butter squash backflip and a do you know what I mean? Like, the names throw me off a bit.
Yeah.
But another trend, Instagram Reels.
Yes.
TikTok, B-Tech TikTok.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to get to the stage that
well, the reason it is because obviously TikTok's blown up. Donald Trump's now saying he's going to ban it unless an American company buys it.
Did he actually?
Yeah. So, I mean...
Why does he want to ban it? Does he hate it?
Because it's a Chinese company that has...
Oh, he doesn't like Chinese people.
Well, it's more that they're trying to argue that there's like surveillance things, because it's...
But then he's like that anyway.
But also,
I mean, hear him saying that he loves China and is...
Yeah, I don't... The app is rife with like... There's a lot of like data security issues and the things that people have raised with it. Lots of fake bots, and people have got a lot of... Since that thing started to blow up, people have had a lot of suspicions about where TikTok is. And so now there's this whole like Trump is trying to ban it, claiming that he wants an American company to buy it, and I think Microsoft are potentially stepping up, and someone else. But Instagram have obviously... I mean, Facebook have obviously just gone like... Because of Facebook and Instagram, like will they do it with everything? Like they just snap onto any trend. Like if you think about Instagram stories,
buying it.
Yeah, maybe. No, because they have Instagram. That's the thing.
I know.
Unless they buy it, shut it down. But Instagram took stories from Snapchat, didn't it? And it crushed it. They tried to do
so true.
They tried to do Instagram TV to compete with YouTube. Didn't work nearly as well. So everyone's a bit unsure about this whole.
But because I saw. So when it was added, we'd see a lot of freerunners. I saw a lot of skaters. I saw a lot of BMXers, and they'd upload because everyone was testing it out.
Yeah.
And like I said to Giles, the common caption for it was
my first reel.
My first reel. Just want to test out like what it's like. Yeah. Because you were saying, I mean,
so
they're pushing it, right?
Yeah. So apparently, what they're doing at the moment is they're massively boosting your reach. So if you post a reel at the moment, you'll get way more views and likes than you would.
So does this mean we're going to see more frequently if someone's got something to upload? Because imagine if it completely wipes out. This could completely wipe out just normal posts. Imagine if it does.
What's the? I don't really know.
Because they show up on the normal posts as well. So why wouldn't you just combo the two?
What's the benefit of a reel over a post, and what's the benefit of a post over a reel?
Or if the benefit is getting more attention, then everyone's going to be using reels.
Is it just because you can lay some music under and you can change the speed?
Probably, but you can do that anyway.
But so
an app for normal video.
But what they're doing is they're basically boosting the amount of reach you're going to get, so that you get a massive dopamine hit off these initial ones, because you're like, oh, I got loads of likes, and then you're gonna love reels and upload more.
Be interesting, quite far fetched, if because of the video showed me of the actual TikTok sort of.
Oh, well, this is
it's the kids singing, right?
No, dancing.
Sorry, so that people dancing.
I'm going to go onto my explore page right now. Oh, to be fair, there's a rollerblader.
Nice. But as like a far-fetched theory, if Instagram becomes populated with that sort of content.
I don't want to see synchronized dancing.
But does that mean there will be a rise in like TikTok will not stop.
Yeah.
All of the TikTokers will come to Instagram. Where do the people go who were just on Instagram for Instagram?
Very true.
So then,
one of those new ones that people jump on, and then
because there was a stage in my life where I could only just about stand Instagram, and now I don't have TikTok.
I hate synchronized dance. No,
there's a lot of people who upload to TikTok who just upload parkour content, and they actually benefit from it hugely, which I really rate because it's kind of a cool way of using it. I just don't want to download the app.
It's such a strange
we've uploaded TikToks.
Well, we tried to just take the piss out of TikTok, and I put like 3 up. But like, there are some incredibly talented dancers out there. There's people who do incredibly talented synchronized stuff. What depresses me about the TikTok dancing trend is that there are kids and people who are spending hours of their day frequently I mean, TikTok obviously isn't just dancing, but like it's a huge, a massive portion of it was these like musically based things. They're spending huge amounts of their time fucking putting up a synchronized dance, when they could be doing something better with their life. It's basically the way I look at it.
But it does sometimes look like people who are very in love with the way that they look on.
Oh yes, it's and the problem is that, and this is why TikTok's become so massive, is because they if you can get so many views and likes off TikTok inexplicably. You're just like, oh, well, look, I've got loads of likes.
Yeah.
And so you love it. So you feel like everyone's fucking looking at you, and that's what drives you to go back. It
takes a pretty girl to lip sync something for like 3 seconds and do it.
Well, I mean, and there are genuinely people's arguments out there. They're like, well, I prefer TikTok because I get more likes. It's like, but yeah, but half those likes probably aren't even fucking real.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, it's hard to say now though, because nearly everyone who I talk to, and then when TikTok comes up, they most likely have it. Luke loves swiping through it. There's quite a lot of people who like using it.
If the fact that you open that app and it instantly plays music at you.
Yeah.
Like, my phone is muted right now. Let me just go to TikTok. Oh, it's asking me for my date of birth. Oh, it's because I haven't logged into it since I got this new phone.
Nice.
But it immediately is like, I'm like, fuck off. I hate you.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just an old boring man.
No, I kind of agree with it. I like laughs, obviously, and I like funny content, but it's annoying when that style of content gets mixed in with serious styles that actually need approval because of their skip.
The crazy thing is, there's
people who are good at making videos, cinematography wise, and just meaningful content is gonna get lost into lip syncing and things. That's why it's gonna be really horrible for Instagram.
Yeah.
To get mixed, because there is actually a lot of, especially like artists. I follow so many like artists who are just pictures.
Yeah.
That's literally gonna go out the window.
You can use amazing like methods on like TikTok and things to tell stories and stuff. There's like filmmakers who do like almost like tutorial based content, because the things that I have seen on TikTok that I quite liked is like, you get creators and they're like, this is how I did this. Like, imagine the Impact shirt video that I made.
Oh, there is actually. It's like, it's good for tips and stuff, right?
Yeah. But it's I'd almost prefer if there was its own social media that just didn't have all the lip sync bullshit and like
So I think that's the bottom line. It isn't me saying like fuck off to TikTok. It's the majority of people who use TikTok.
We just hate people, basically.
And we don't want to see that come to Instagram.
Yeah, but then we chat so much shit about Instagram anyway, so
I know
we're just negative people.
Yeah.
It's better to adapt.
But then I realised after chatting so much shit about Instagram is that if you just don't care about it, then it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, basically it's very easy to chat shit about stuff, but
if you just chat shit about it, then you're like, well, actually, just don't let it. Like,
but also, what we should be doing, and what everyone else should be doing, is utilising these platforms to
benefit us and the company, and to help other people.
No, I was going to say, like, it would be very easy to we could. Oh, were you saying that's what we should do?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And what everyone else should do is, like, we can chat shit till the cows come home, but
what?
You never heard that saying?
No.
Like,
why would the cows come home?
Till the cows come home.
Yeah, but no.
I grew up on a farm.
Where did the cows go?
I don't know. It's just a saying. Okay. You could say, like, it's like saying we could talk till we're blue in the face. Like,
no, don't know that one either.
Till the cat. Well, that's because you're like talking and you can't run out of air.
Blue in the
till
face.
The cows come home. I don't know.
Right. No.
I guess they come home at the end of the day after they've been out in the field, and they come back.
Do they?
Maybe. But
either way,
any platform has its benefits, and you could use that the correct way. So we need. All right. Just scrap what we just.
Don't think about this deeply. It's just this is a podcast, guys.
We don't
just
plan
shit.
We don't plan these. We just start talking.
The only thing that was meant to come from that was, I wonder where the REELS thing will go and whether we'll get lip syncers. That's it. Go. That was it.
One thing I would say is that, let's say TikTok gets wiped out by Trump. Let's say no one buys it and gets wiped out. There are people.
Trump.
Gets banned. There are people who have built their entire careers on TikTok. There's like American kids who are in like houses. You know how you had like YouTube houses, like YouTubers? There's like TikTok houses. And they spend their days doing dancing and lip syncing. And there's celebrities off of this, which blows my mind, but it exists. I don't know who is giving these people money, but they do.
Who is giving these children money?
If they have not built, it's like when Vine died. Some people transitioned from Vine into YouTube. Some people transitioned from Vine to other things.
That kind of worked though when it went to YouTube.
But some people didn't. Some people died. Like
died.
Not died, but what you should be doing, no matter what platform you're on, influential athletes, to any of you big boys who are listening to this, because I know you will do, if you do not have your own like email mailing, like things like email mailing lists you own, if you have a website and you can capture emails or something like this, you own those essentially for life, depending on GDPR and all these other things. But like, you want to try and get as many owned sources of media, because if TikTok dies or if Instagram dies and you have 1 million followers on Instagram but nowhere else, like YouTube is better than Instagram. Basically, you just want to try and make sure you have your audience saved somewhere, because if you lose them on one platform, you have 1 million followers on TikTok and then it gets deleted, and you don't have that same following on Instagram, you've just lost everything, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want to and email is basically the easiest one to, not necessarily to build, but it's the most savable one that you could then build a mailing list and update your people about what you're doing. Obviously, you've got to be doing decent stuff to inform them of something, but
which most lip syncers won't.
No, that's the problem, is that like you kind of, that's where you need to be offering your audience some form of value. Like Dom, for example, could start a little mailing list where he just like, even if it's just once a month, and he just puts out, oh, this is my latest videos and this is what I've been doing and I went and did this job and things. It's worth doing something like that, so I would encourage it. He's
good as well, because he's got YouTube and Instagram.
Massive gainer pre, followed by a double cork on flat, which was overlooked because the gainer pre was so fucking astonishing. But
I actually really liked that he sent a double cork, just because it didn't look
because he can.
It didn't look like it was part of the run, and I don't think it was meant to try and make it.
We're actually so bad, because I don't even know who this guy is. Like, how do I find this?
Yeah, I didn't. I've just saved it. Well, here we go. We'll get the name up.
Just watch things and go, oh, we should talk about that. And we don't.
To anyone who hasn't seen the gainer pre, his name is. Come on.
And this is a different guy who gained manpower, but it's probably an equal amount of talent.
Okay, so this might be someone who shared it then.
Oh,
because it says Gang Wizzy.
Gang Wizzy.
It says Gang Wizzy.
Fuck me. I mean,
then it has it's not tagging anyone.
It's a substantial drop pre, and he gainer pre's it so nicely as well. Like, no sketchiness. Like, there's no point in that. Was I like, oh, he's gonna die?
So it is a team. It's a team in France.
What's
someone from the team, Wizzy Gang.
Oh yeah, because the team who did the gainer manpower, Bale.Russi or whatever it is.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just surprising how I'm watching it right now. It is a substantial gap.
Yeah, like gainer pre's have existed for a long time, but never to that scale.
But it's so clean.
It's so clean.
Clean, casual, and then he like walks down the slope,
and he's just like,
and then it's kind of like almost a little celebration.
I had to watch it so many times to be sure it was a double cork, because I just like was just like it looked like a fucking, he did it so casually. Very cool.
Isn't it weird how people can double cork flat? I actually remember watching when I was younger, people doing double corks off of really high things.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing people attempt double cork flat in the gym,
and now like people are doing
nearly doing it.
Quads.
Yeah.
And I remember your first double cork flat in the gym at Nova City after a few beers.
Yeah, that was a weird session.
You were like, I was like, just try it, and you just banged it straight away. I was like, there we go.
Good feeling. Good feeling.
This is an hour long and I'm dripping, and I feel like we've kind of just flitted from topic to topic.
I know.
But I think some people just like to hear our voices.
I hope so. I'm sorry that we talked about clothing for so long, but
I think that was a good chat. It's better than some of it. I
enjoyed it. I just hope that people enjoy whatever the fuck we talk about.
We keep meaning to get guests on, and we keep asking people to send us guests, and not many people do. I just get people.
Well, I know that Marks is keen.
Yeah, Marks.
So if people want to see Marks, then maybe spam us or Marks.
I also want to try and get Kai on, because he's doing some amazing stuff with drones.
That would be cool to talk about.
And Storm has had some internal changes, which would be good to talk about.
Yeah.
I do also have written down Tim Sheaf mask, where he put his mask into.
Don't know what else we can say apart.
I just think if he really wanted to make an actual statement, he would have actually gone into shops and been like, "Look, I'm not wearing a mask," instead of just doing like the ego trip of. I love him. Like I've got so much respect from him, but also I just think it's weird. Like it's just.
What was the thing on it? Was it just saying he doesn't think masks are
basically
yeah?
But it was just like
I just looked at the picture and scrolled past.
I mean, this is the genius marketing of Tim Sheaf. He will always do incredibly bold things to get his name out there. Like, he was all over the Daily Mail and Unilad and all this stuff. It's the same when he said he fucking came in his pants after eating salmon.
He's smart though.
I don't
like. No, in that way, like.
But it's that thing.
If that's what he's after.
I always question.
He's able to get there.
Yeah.
So.
I always question. Does he know he's doing these like controversial things?
I think he is, because I doubt that he would be.
Because he's done so many things like it now. So many.
Like, I mean, you've said in the past that he's. I know probably not so much now. He's not like focused on fashion, but even things like fashion when he was wearing parkour brands or part of Storm. He would wear things that now
we went to Hong Kong.
This is the example that I'm talking about.
We went to Hong Kong and he bought a bum bag and he wore it across his chest like 3 or 4 years before that trend came in. But it's
Did you find it weird that he was doing that?
I was like, what the fuck's he wearing that? And he wanted to make one for Storm and I was like, no, why would you do that?
That's so fucking crazy.
He's very good at just doing like controversial things that get a lot of media attention, and then he kind of gets, I guess, exposure off the back of that. And it always seems like it's just like I just did this thing and then it happened by accident. But I feel like there's I mean, personally, if this is a conspiracy, well, that's my problem with the mask thing. I think he knows he's doing.
The
mask thing comes across as too intentional.
Yeah.
They're like, the salmon thing was like he was just telling a story and it blew up because it was so off the wall. This thing is just like, I'm gonna go prance down the street wearing this, looking all controversial. Like, if he actually wanted to make a statement, there would be more.
Yeah.
Nah, but I guess I'm chatting shit, because if he did just go into a shop and say I'm not wearing a mask, it probably wouldn't have been as big of a deal. Then saying, here's me in my little. I think
he did a good job with that.
My little pants.
I say a good job, but I think everyone should be wearing masks.
Did a good job promoting a fucking idiotic thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so hot, I can't breathe.
Yeah, it's hot. Sorry, I was tapping the. I hope that I haven't done that loads.
You did do it earlier.
Yeah, I'm fucking. I'm terrible with tapping. So.
Yeah. Wicked. Oh, we talked about masks in the last one, didn't we? We just ramble on about the same guff.
It's because none of you send us topics.
Send us some topics, please. I saw Storro doing like a send us stuff video. Yes. I'm curious about what people are going to send them. And I keep meaning to do. We should do like a send us stuff, but I don't particularly want people sending stuff to my house in case somebody sends me anthrax.
Just send it to your mum's house.
I do get a lot of stuff sent to my mum's house.
Oh yeah, because that.
Like, very often I'm like, oh, can you just send it here? And people think it's my house, and I'm like, yeah, I just don't want people stealing my dog. There's been so many dog thefts around, like fucking shitloads of dog. Like in our town group, people are getting their dogs like just taken out of fields and out of gardens and things. And we're like, sick. Darwin's gonna eat someone if they try and take him, but also he's glorious. Like, Sarah was walking the other day and this van pulled up and they were like, oh, what dog is that? Like, how old is he and things? And she didn't know if they were just like being nice, but it's like 2 guys in a van, and now she's a bit like pranged about it.
Jesus.
So, if I've said this to Sarah, if Darwin got stolen, I would mobilise the entire parkour community and put out probably like a $5,000 reward. Like, it would be, and I would go out on like a Liam Neeson Taken thing, and just be like, I will kill anyone who has taken my dog and happily go to jail for it.
He is lovely.
I want every single person in the parkour community like hunting the fields, like in those lines, like police things. Oh,
amazing.
Anyway, we should
sweltering.
Yeah, I'm dripping. We should wrap this up. Sorry for the waffle. Next week we'll get on someone good, he says confidently.
I vote Marks. I want Marks to come on.
Yeah, if anyone wants to come on that we actually like, message me and we'll make it happen.
Maybe the drummer from Stray, so I can apologise in person.
You know, he shared my post on his story.
He used to answer my DMs until I upset him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alright. Bye. Love you.
Laters.